Welcome. This video is produced by the Washington Apex Accelerator and is made possible by the Port of Seattle. If you're a small business in or thinking of jumping in to selling to government agencies or government prime contractors, you've come to the right place. Today, we're going to take a journey into the world of bonding to help prepare your firm for long-term growth and success in the marketplace. We will cover what bonds are, whether or not you need one, how much it'll cost, and how to get one. Let's go. So first off, what is a bond? Many folks are familiar with how criminal bail bonds work. The judge requires bail to let you out of jail, and company issues that bail bond and guarantees to the judge that you'll return for your court date. Bonds for construction are kind of the same idea, except hopefully there's no jail time. The bond company will guarantee that you'll do the work for the agency. The bond protects other people from you and protects them from you not performing or you not paying your subs and suppliers as you are contractually obligated to perform. It's not like insurance that protects your firm and its assets. Rather, bonds protect the agency or prime you're doing business with. This can be confusing, however, because most bonds in our country are issued by insurance companies. However, it's more like a credit relationship than an insurance relationship. As a result, not everyone can get a bond. So do you need one? Well, when you applied to renew or first get your contractor's license with the Washington State Department of Labor and Industries, you were required to have a bond. Currently, those bonds amounts are in the total of $30,000 for general contractors or $15,000 for specialty contractors. These amounts were just recently raised in July of 2024. In lieu of these bonds, contractors are allowed to assign savings, essentially a cash deposit, that must remain on file for 2 years after your registration expires. By law, public agencies must require higher additional bonds when certain spending thresholds are met. For example, projects over $150,000. This helps protect the agency and the taxpayers. So what exactly is a surety bond? A performance surety bond is a three-party agreement in which the surety company guarantees to the contractor that you'll perform on a construction contract. That risk is shifted from the surety to the public owner or the agency for the contract completion and payment. If the contractor defaults, surety completes, arranges for, and pays for the contract completion up to the amount of the bond. We'll talk about 3 types of bonds today that are common in public works contracting. First up is the bid bond. This guarantees that you will comply with the bid specifications, including entering into a contract and providing performance and payment bonds if you are awarded the job. The performance bond guarantees that you will finish the job on time and on budget and to the owner's specifications. Lastly, the payment bond. This guarantees that your subcontractors and vendors will be paid for their work on a job. There are 3 parties involved in the bond agreement. It helps to review the terminology when reviewing these 3 parties. First, principal. This is the party who is obligated to perform the work. The obligee is the party who is protected by the surety bond. The obligee is the beneficiary of the bond and the one requiring the bond to be posted in the first place. The surety simply refers to the company that guarantees the principal's performance. If the principal, in this case you, the contractor, doesn't complete the work, the agency or the obligee can file a claim against the bond. If the claim is valid, the surety company reimburses the obligee or completes the work. The principal or the contractor then has to pay the surety company back the full amount of the claim plus any interest and fees. Surety bonds are often required for licenses and permits and for contracts, especially in construction. They make a business more credible and reliable in the eyes of agencies. I think it's important to note who pays out the claim. Unlike insurance, the principal or the business is legally obligated to repay the surety for any claims paid out. This reimbursement clause ensures that the principal bears the ultimate financial responsibility, making surety bonds more like a form of credit than a traditional insurance. Can someone like you get a bond? Well, maybe. It'll depend on many factors, all of which come down to the risk of the surety company for your non-performance or your non-payment. The surety company will read your contract, taking note of the type of contract, the scope of work, payment terms, warranties, liquidated damages, etc. The underwriters at the surety company will also look at your 3 C's: character, whether or not you're open, honest, if you have criminal history, any liens, collections, bankruptcies. They'll look at your capacity. Have you done this work before? How big is this job compared to your previous work? Is it in a new state? Doing business in Hawaii is very different than doing business here in Washington. And do you have a strong business plan? The third C is capital. Do you have cash flow and working capital to perform? They will also look at company and personal financial statements. Your company financial statements must include a balance sheet and income statement as well as others. This whole process could take time, so be sure to communicate with your bond broker as early as possible in the process and keep your financials tidy and professional. You can work with your current insurance producer, or you can go directly to a surety bond producer. To find a surety bond producer, go to the National Association of Surety Bond Producers, found at nasbp.org. So how much is this going to cost? Well, to answer that, the surety company will look at the same risk factors that the underwriter looked at to determine if you were even eligible to receive the bond. Understanding why your rates are set at what they are will help you strategize on how to lower them over time. They'll look at credit scores, your financial standings, and your experience. All 3 of those play into the rate your surety provider will charge your firm. They will also want to see the quality of your financial statements. Those financial statements prepared by a qualified CPA will give them more trust in you, and in turn, your rates might be lower. Seek to gain the trust of your surety provider by being honest and open and communicative. Avoid scopes that are too big or too risky. Bonding is a fact of life for construction firms in Washington State, and if you're pursuing public contracting, it may influence what you can bid on. Work with your bonding agent to understand their concerns, and you'll be able to grow your firm over time with risk tolerances that everyone can accept. We hope this video outlined the essential information your firm needs to know. To learn more or to attend an Ask an Expert session, visit washingtonapex.org. Here, you can also sign up to meet one-on-one with an advisor at no cost from the Washington Apex Accelerator team.